Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dyad in the Forest. We just got some hot news just dropped. Of course, you can watch it on StarWars.com, but we sat there and watched. There was a 30-minute panel on Anime Expo, and yeah, we got lots of visions to talk about, as well as got some Bad Batch, and of course, hanging out with you, everybody in the chat, because that's some of the most fun things that we get to do on a weekly basis. But we're talking about that right now on Diet in the Force, so stay tuned.
Seen for generations, a Dyad in the Force.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dyad in the Force. Episode 34. And Choco was right. There's a lot to talk about. We got a panel from Star Wars Visions or Lucasfilm, seeing some of what we're going to get this September. We have a very special guest, another anime otaku in the house. Introduce yourself. Where can we find you? And just your story with Star Wars.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Cal. My handle pretty much everywhere is Cal4. Sometimes with a space, sometimes without. As far as Star Wars, I mean, it's been in my blood since I grew up. Ever since I was a kid, watching original trilogy, watching prequels in theaters, watching the sequel in theaters. And yeah, just hype for two great loves of mine coming together with Visions.
Absolutely. I have an early shout out to make for DePaul, who was here on the landing page before we went live. DePaul dropping some love with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And also joining the Squadron 7 pilot program. Welcome to Squadron 7.
Pilot program. I understood that reference.
Double meaning. Yeah. Thank you to DePaul. Also, a shout out to our other squadron pilots, Harith and Connor. I don't know if Connor, you're in the chat. A shout out to you. What's up, Aria L, Lacona, Car2D2, X-Core Gamer Skills, Chosen One, Log Branch, Brooke in the building. Brooke is not doing good. I don't know why. I can't say anything, but we got Chibi Boba. That's something, right?
It's funny because, like, having gone through the mourning period. Anyways.
Yeah.
Just some people in the chat. Aria, I can't wait to actually get you on here. We will have that happen at some point in time. But yeah,
Aria. We'll have Aria on for Race to Crash Point Tower if you are. I mean, the invitation is open. So all you need to do is say in the chat, yes, and we'll make it happen. We'll book it. A couple of announcements. Speaking of the pilot program, the channel memberships are open. So join Squadron 7 today. It's really cheap. You get custom channel badges, emojis, shout out in every video that I make, priority comments and questions in the shows, and monthly watch-alongs. I'm adding that as well. If you go to either Choco and I's websites or landing pages and go to our links, you'll find the link to our public Discord server, and we will host monthly watch-alongs, or I will if Choco's not available. I'll be hosting monthly watch-alongs in the public server for Squadron 7 pilots. And as it says...
Much like the Jackson 5, I'll be there.
And as the graphic says, more perks to come. So we'll have like Squadron 7 Commander, Squadron 7 Ascendancy, stuff like that. We'll see. I'm still working the details out. But yeah, we saw a lot. I mean, for a 30-minute panel, that was a lot.
Yeah, a lot of awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
I took notes.
You took notes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's so much awesome stuff.
Okay, so something we have to get out of the way really quickly. Star Wars Visions, I believe. Now, Choco, I did not really hear this, but it's not canon.
Correct.
What was said in the video?
And Suki decides to start barking right now.
It's okay.
In the video, they said that they thought about approaching it. Well, sorry, if you wouldn't mind vamping for just a moment, and I'll come back and let you know what was said.
Okay. So, Star Wars Visions had a panel on Anime Expo Light. It took place at 3 p.m. just about a little over 2 hours ago. And we saw a lot from a lot of studios. Now, granted, Disney Plus announced like 12 plus projects, and a lot more studios are working on these animes. And they showed a couple. I think they showed about 6 or 7, so it's not all of them. And of course, we learned that it is coming in September. Are you ready, Choco, or are you still need me to vamp?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I am good. I just needed it to pick up this little one here so she doesn't keep barking like an animal. She is an animal, but you could,
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean. Anyways, yeah. So what James Waugh, the executive producer of the project, said during the panel was that they initially were considering making it canon, or following in with all of the stories and adding that portion to the Star Wars universe. But then as they thought about it, they wanted this to be authentic to these creators, to these studios, to their visions. And so that's why, hence the name. It's these creators, these amazing anime creators, it's their vision of Star Wars. Now, of course they found people to do them that are big Star Wars fans. But yeah, it is not going to be canon.
What are the chances that one of the writers did not see Star Wars in the writers?
I would be shocked if there was not any person as part of the process that hadn't been a Star Wars fan. But as long as the primary creators are big Star Wars fans, that's the only thing that we really need to worry or care about.
Yeah. Cal, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, first off, just shouting excitement, but to kind of go on that point too, during that presentation they were talking about how they would even meet up with some of the directors at the studios and would be like, oh, these people are huge Star Wars fans, and they're talking about how some of them even had collections of Star Wars memorabilia and stuff, and they're like, oh my gosh, we had no idea. And getting to see some of the animators talking about, like, wait, we actually get to do this? Like, this can be a thing? We get to make Star Wars, but also anime as well? And
yeah,
it was just exciting. Like, I'm so pumped.
Absolutely.
As somebody who grew up, like, on the Toonami and, like, Adult Swim days with, like, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, and Samurai Champloo, like, this for me is, like, oof, like, so good. I'm so excited.
Deep cuts. Yeah, so, like, I do like that it is not canon, basically because it gives them a lot of creative berth to kind of explore their mind palaces, right? And as Chosen One says, there's nothing wrong with multiple continuities, and that's true. Like, it's like not liking Into the Spider-Verse because it's not in the same universe as Spider-Man in the MCU.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think what this does, at least for the Star Wars universe, is it makes people at least okay with, or at least it reinforces the idea that you can like Legends and appreciate that story, and not place this kind of, like, almost sacrosanctity on canon. Now, as lore people, we care about what's canon and what's established as a continuity and in-universe and the timelines and whatsoever. But when we're appreciating Star Wars, we appreciate everything. My favorite is Satil Shan. Choco's is Jaina Solo and Saba Sabatine. And Cal, I don't know if you have a Legends favorite.
Oh, I'm a Revan simp. I got,
of course,
lightsaber right here. And yeah.
Yeah, so it's all Star Wars. So whether it's canon, legends, expanded universe, and I'm going to do a video expanding on this even further, probably telling people why they should be reading the new canon books, because it's just the same, you know. You have your Legends EU, Old Republic, New Jedi Order, Fate of the Jedi, all of that good stuff. It's still there. You can appreciate that. But then we have the new canon books that is now in canon, in universe, and you can expect to see that stuff in the films and the TV shows in some way, shape, or form. And that's a huge difference. So if you are a huge fan of Legends, you should be reading these books. Look out for that book. Not book. Look out for that video when that comes out. But yeah, let's shift on over to the reaction panel here that I have set up with us, and the video that I set up and I cut together. Now, granted, for copyright purposes, I will not be able to play anything, you know, one-to-one, right? But I have it here for you guys to see on stream, so you know what we're looking at. And for Cal and Choco, if you have the stream pulled up, this is the first project that they announced by Kamikaze Doga, and it is called The Duel. And just look at these images. Like, okay, so this is the first one that pops out to me. Let me know when you guys get there on the stream. But holy crap.
Yeah.
Samurai Jedi.
There's a reason why it's my background.
Oh, yeah. Of course, shout out to Cal's background. But my God. Just this art. Also,
So
hi Julia.
Hi, Julia's here.
If you guys missed the Star Wars Visions panel, we are going over the art that they were showing and previewing during said panel. This is the first one by Kamikaze Doga. It's called The Duel. Choco, Cal, chime in. This first picture here.
I mean, it's stunning. Is really what it was when that was what opened up during that. I was just like, oh, okay, this is. I had intensely high expectations, and this just blew them right out of the water. I was. Yes, I am all for it. I'm getting like Rurouni Kenshin vibes, but Star Wars, and I am here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say any better than Cal here. No, it's beautiful, the art style, and just like that's a guy you don't want to draw against. You know what I mean?
No, that's like Cad Bane, but like the lightsaber form. It's like you look at him and you're just like,
this is not going to go the way you think.
No.
I lose.
and just appreciate that, like, a lot of Star Wars was in fact inspired by Kurosawa, and you can imagine the Jedi robes translates perfectly to samurai attire, the gi, the robes, everything, all that good stuff looks great. And then we move on to just more concept art. I think I missed it. We have a droid in a hat. A straw hat. Shout out to Straw Hat Goofy. Is this droid called Straw Hat Goofy? G-O-0-F?
Straw Hat Chopper.
What's up, Dob? I just joined. What is this? We're going over Visions right now, what we saw in that panel. Any takes on the droid with the hat? Or chopper with a hat?
Right. Well, I love that he has the little chopper arms, too, because I was always... finding it funny that Chopper was like the only droid that really had like the little grabby hands.
Oh yeah.
And so it was cool to see that this one also has that same kind of build.
Also, is that an R5? That looks like an R5.
I was gonna say it looks like an R5 unit to me. Yeah. I feel like you know the Chopper like grabby arms were probably like standard at one point, and then those units were like too grabby, and they're like, okay, we need to nerf this because they keep spinning around, slapping people. Like, yeah.
Yeah. X-Core Gamer Skill says Vader's armor was inspired by Samurai. Very, very much so. His helmet is, you know, a classic reformation or an appropriation of a kabuto or a samurai helmet, just without those big prongs coming out of them. Julia Christine says, I'm honestly shocked at how positive the comments under the trailer are, and still so disappointed with the High Republic Wave 2 comments. Just so much unnecessary hate. Yeah, that's just...
Take the good one we can get it.
Yes.
I see this as an absolute win.
It is. Even with all of the hate on the Wave 2 comments in the High Republic, books are still doing good. Multiple prints. It's all good. And then we move on to some people who look like the Nile. You know, like one on a samurai straw, or like a tatami mat probe droid.
Yeah, that's so cool. Just everything about it, the Trandoshan, samurai, droid with a Gatling gun, and that's like a sand person.
That's an AP droid too, right?
I think so.
It looks similar. It looks like maybe an older version, the predecessor to an AP.
Oh wait, is that the one from the Bad Batch? That was GS8, wasn't it? The senators.
That's what its designation was. But I mean, so that's another thing. These are hard to place exactly where in the time stream they are, but these could all really be anywhere. You know.
It looks like they're on Tatooine to some extent as well, because it looks like there's a moisture evaporator in the background.
Yeah, that could be it too. Grandmaster Bale says, "Is that a Tusken Raider under the hat?" I mean, it looks like it. It could be one, or it could be Plo Koon. Oh man, all of this art looks incredible for this. Oh Jesus.
And that's another reason why I'm glad that it's not canon, is with them having the freedom to kind of go all out with all of this and make it so gorgeous and aesthetically pleasing, and still tied to like the Japanese anime roots with it. I feel like it would be kneecapped otherwise. Like if they had to try and fall within those restrictions constantly, it'd be like, well, we need to make sure that this fits within everything in our vision. It's like, no, this is supposed to be their vision.
Yeah.
And just because it doesn't fit within the canon story doesn't mean that it's not good story or good
Absolutely. And then we have this lady. She's looking pretty hot. Who do you think she is?
I like that she has pointed ears.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, she's you know, I've actually seen quite a few people in Star Wars lately that gives me Voltron vibes, the Netflix series, you know. But yeah, that's kind of what I get.
It's just like everything we go through just looks incredible. We got some like stormtroopers with half helmets and top helmets, bottom helmets.
They look like First Order stormtroopers too, with the design of those helmets.
Oh yeah, that's right. The bottom half here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Geez, I don't know. Who is this? An ominous figure in the background. Not in the background, in the foreground.
I was like, more ominous than the person in all black in the middle,
right?
Yeah.
It will, especially when you kind of have that cloaked visage like that that's just hiding so much. There's just a lot of natural mystery there with it too.
Yeah.
I like how that one trooper has that like stun baton that we see in Force Awakens as well.
That's true. Dob says, what time period is Vision set in? We don't know.
So, we do know it is an anthology series. So yes. Each of these are going to be set in different time periods. I mean, I'm sure some of them could be in the same time period, but they're not. It's not like all of them are set at the same time.
Yeah.
Didn't they also say that like it's going to be ranging from like 20,000 years within like the Star Wars lore and era? But I don't know if that's still what they're holding to.
Well, I mean, that's what Kathleen Kennedy said at the announcement, you know, back in, was that December?
Yeah.
But yeah, it means that their stories could take place at any point in the Star Wars time frame, you know, if you're saying 20,000 years. So yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I'm kind of hoping that Ninth Jedi takes place like really, really early in the time.
It sounded like it was going to.
So we have 2 new members to Squadron 7. Thank you very much to Cart2D2 and Julia Christine for joining the squad, joining the pilot program. Your patronage is very much appreciated, and yeah, I mean, awesome time to join too, because there's a lot happening right now, and I feel like come September there's gonna be a lot of watch-alongs too. You know what I mean? Enjoy the Grogu emotes, the Ryan Johnson Poggers emotes. The more members we get, of course, the more emotes I can add. Of course, the next 2 emotes that we're going to have to do is Choco Poggers and the element.
Poggers.
Huh? You still don't know what Poggers?
No, I'm like Choco Poggers, and then we put it together, and it's just Choggers.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll make that the command for it for sure. Another member has joined the pilot program, Grandmaster Bill. I'm feeling the love, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Lots of people to do watch-alongs with now. We at least have a full room. Joggers. Julie Christine says joggers. No, choggers. Although that sounds kind of slurish, doesn't it? You're a chogger.
Some Star Wars random curse.
What about mobile? Star Wars Lawyer says, I do think that the join button is still, I mean, I think Julia is on mobile as well. You may be in a better position to help Chris out on that one, but the join button is right next to
If that's like the law of the land, you know?
I actually kind of dug the more thin blades personally.
Is the stream okay for you guys? I see in the chat that some people are saying it froze.
You
froze
did
for
freeze.
us. Yeah, Cal and I kept talking while you sat there frozen. And also I can see on the YouTube the stream was buffering for a little bit of time. So it sounds like it might be something going on locally for your interwebs.
Are we back up, guys? Can you say in the chat? It's all
like
good
it's back
now.
Up. Resolution's kind of low, but
let me see here.
might be.
I dropped 41 frames. That's not bad. My connection looks to be green again. Car2D2 says Chugers. Chugers is big changes poggers. Okay.
There we go. Now it looks like it's back up and running.
Okay, so on to the next anime that was announced by Geno Studios. It is Lop and Ocho. I mean, just amazing. This frame was shown at in December. Speaking of which, can you believe how long it's been since Investors Day?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Just time goes by. Hey! Thank you to X-Core Gamer Skills for joining Squadron 7. Much appreciated. I definitely look forward to being on Conspiracy Cantina when the invite comes my way. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But again, welcome to Squadron. You may see yourself to the hangar to pick out your very own X-Wing. Asterisk RP. So that you know what? When I saw this panel at Vision or at the Investors Day, I did not notice that character was a bunny.
You know, I actually kind of enjoy it because not often do we really get a protagonist that's not human in Star Wars. I feel like 99% of the time you're following the story of just a human character. So I think for me it's kind of cool to see a non-human character, but then also one that is very also heavily inspired by anime roots. So
yeah.
Plus, it's not new to Star Wars. You know, we've got a Green Bunny Man in the spacesuit before.
Oh my goodness! The community is coming together and they're delivering. Thank you very much for joining, Aria L. Welcome to the squad. Go ahead and pick out your X-Wing or Y-Wing or A-Wing. Just go to the hangar. We have all of them, you know, because...
It's Aria. She's flying a Vector, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
we have Vectors too. We have Ataraxias as well, if you like them big. Sorry. Yes, enjoy the Grogu emoji. I did not mean to make an innuendo there. Sorry.
Innuendos are my thing, all right?
Right. Give us some examples, Choco.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
Pull
geez.
up the notepad.
I don't have any right now, but I will. You can't put me on a spot like that.
So here's the bunny with what I'm gonna call for now as Beady Chibi Beady. Does that look like
feel that.
Beady?
Totally. It's like Lunchbox BD1. Art style, it's so cute.
Alright, he says, I unsubscribe. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to make that, you know, I'm not even going to say the word. I didn't mean to make it what it was. You can fly a Vector. You know, it's totally okay. But maybe Chris. Chris likes them big, right? He's flying. He's definitely flying girthy Millennium Falcon. For sure.
I mean, the twins had that like joined Star Destroyer, and that was just hella thick, you know.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
yeah.
super wide.
I mean, we'll get to that for sure. We don't know much about these stories. I mean, I don't know. The top looks like a BD unit, and the bottom doesn't, right? Because I don't think that BD1 had treads.
No.
BD1 didn't have treads, but it could be options. You know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's true. That's true.
An off-road package.
I just really love the look of that like large screw panel on the back, almost kind of evoking like a wind-up thing, and he's got the little handle on top, so it's like, oh, he ran out of juice, pick him up.
Oh my gosh, he's also a carry-on luggage.
It's just so cute.
You open his head, you put your sandwich in there, like it's
got room for snacks. Keeps him
man.
cool.
Oh my gosh, and then this guy with like the cross-shaped scars, double the Rurouni Kenshin, you know? He carries himself with more intensity. I think
It almost looks like triple with the way his eye is closed there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that. 3 scars. He killed 3 Tomoes. It's crazy. Just like ooh, and then this girl. I mean, make way for some more simpage.
Yeah.
You know?
By the way, you can't say make way and not expect in my head to say for Prince Ali.
I was right there with you.
I just
Make way. Oh no, we don't have copyrights for that. Sorry, can't sing it. But hey, I don't know who she is, but if she's a Jedi, that's a damn good Jedi robe. And
100%.
she's gonna be in my simp archives for sure.
I love seeing so much color in this series too.
Yes.
yeah.
That's
very
that's
much.
one thing that like they do explore with Star Wars quite a bit, but it's nice to go on both sides of the spectrum, kind of like the space grunge, and then all of a sudden, you know, the hyper vibrant magical side of it all.
Oh yeah.
I want that speeder.
Log Branch asks, do you know if this will be voiced in Japanese or English? Well, Japanese studios are working on it, so I assume that seiyus will be attached to it, as well as English voice actors, so there's going to be, 2 tracks.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't both.
Yeah.
That would be. That's low-hanging fruit for projects such as this.
Absolutely. St. Pat, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I don't know why you weren't subscribed already. I feel betrayed.
St. Pat is a dude.
Got some more bunny. We got some Imperial officers. Woof. Why do I feel like this guy is like the old man Nash Windrider?
Oh, totally. I also love the K2 droid.
You know?
Oh, and is that a Dark Trooper on the right too? Kind of like behind the like stylized borderlines in the top right.
Oh yeah, it does look like that. If we look at the top right here, that looks
Also,
like
they're rocking the Tarkin cut pants. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like it ultra wide.
Question though, because it's not canon, do you think do you think there will be stories that are based off of canon?
Well,
do you think this could be Nash?
Stories, possibly, but they did mention that at least one of the stories did have some common characters in there. I'm sure we'll be getting to that one, but
yeah,
I think a lot of them they seemed like they were going to be separate and original characters.
Yeah,
but I would love to see Nash.
Yeah, Tatooine Rhapsody did say that they included a couple characters from canon, and they had to work directly with Lucasfilms on that. But I'm curious to see if they're going to pull any Legends characters in too, because this is a good time to do it as well, to just bring in some Legends stories that are non-canon and just show them in a really fascinating way.
Yeah.
I better bring my lizard lady in here.
Oh no, this is a perfect opportunity. You know what? I also think that just because they said that like most of these, or if not all of them, were not canon, there could be some stories like the twins which we're going to cover here in a bit that could be canon, you know, because it has an Inquisitor, and some stories could be like, you know, that far out in wild space that it could fit in. You know, as long as it's not claiming to have Luke Skywalker there, you know?
Yeah, or that far in the past or future as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not ready to say that, like, to put, like, a blanket statement over the whole thing. Like, all of these are not canon. I think there's potential. Don't you agree?
There could be potential. I don't know. I will grab that clip, and then I'll let you you decide.
Gotcha. All right, that was Lop and Ocho. These are just more stills from there. I'll let them play out for you guys in the chat. The more Arya says, the more I see that the bunny, the more I have the need to. I would love to see it, Arya.
Yeah, do it. She's so cute. Oh, got the little DBZ scanner.
Oh yeah. This one is Tatooine Rhapsody by Studio Colorido or Colorida.
I am way excited for this one.
I am too.
Look at that punk rock, like he just, that hut just came out of Hot Topic, and he's like feeling hella fresh. As a musician myself that would like play shows and stuff all over Northern California, it's cool to like get this epic of this band that's just trying to make it in the Tatooine scene, which has got to be hard if you're going up against people like Figure and Dan and stuff, you know, those established acts. Yeah, this is a rock opera, which I don't even know what that means in Star Wars. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
They were talking about his want. Oh, we got a small little snippet there. We'll get to the more slides, but it's about this character wanting to he's like a Padawan, but he also wants to be in a rock band. That's like, so it's like, how do those disciplines intersect? It's crazy.
I'm getting like Gurren Lagann vibes from the art style.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot, and like almost hints of gorillas in a way. But I was just talking, or just shooting random messages to Choco about it. I want to see more Star Wars music stuff. I want to see more like Star Wars bands and things. Like, so this immediately when I saw this, I was freaking out. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks so cool.
St. Pat says, I was subscribed. I was having technical issues and it kept unsubscribing me. Yeah, well, you know, that's the story people would tell. That
hashtag get good.
Arya, in regards to the bunny, that would be the most feminine cosplay I think I would ever do, which is weird for me. Oh, I would. You would absolutely kill it. We'll 100%. Leave it there. Moving on. Wait, X-Core says, why aren't there more Jedi musicians? Like, why isn't there a Jedi choir? Oh my gosh. Just an image of a Jedi choir doing Duel of the Fates.
I'm thinking of the movie Sister Act, but it's Jedi.
Oh my god. I'd watch it.
I love both Sister Act and Sister Act 2. I think I like Sister Act 2 more, but yeah.
We get to see Mos Espa. I mean, canon or not, we're gonna see Star Wars. Oh, and there it is. This one's for Brooke. This Chibi Boba Fett.
Yay.
This is incredible. I never thought I would see one that's like official.
Expect official Chibi Boba Fett on Boba Tea stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, including these notes, right? Like, I would put this straight. I would put this straight on a T-shirt with "There are 8 pouches at his waist." I would leave that there.
I love the one of the little hut, and it's just like, he has a ring on his little finger. It's like, that's just what the note is.
And then the note on his rangefinder, it won't go any further. This is as far as it goes.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. What is this to say?
I love those little details.
Ari says that's the cutest boba ever. Absolutely. Brooks like T-shirt, you say? Bet. By the way, it's Far Far Away Factory. It's that time of the day and the week. Get your Star Wars trinkets and shirts and jackets and shoes, stickers, all those things. St. Pat's asking Choco, can we have Amando be Whoopi Goldberg's character?
Oh, of course. I can totally see Whoopi's her braids, her dreads, as like part of a helmet. Like I feel like St. Pat, if anyone can design it, it's you for sure.
Ooh, absolutely. And then now we have the next title from Trigger. This is the twins. This is the one we were talking about earlier. This is about a set of twins that were born on the dark side, and I do believe that this one on the left side shifts to the light and is trying to save his sister. I'm assuming genders here. I apologize.
They did say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it looks like, well, we have some, is this, okay, no, B20N, so it is not, like, that looks like a 000 in anime form. Let me move us over really quickly.
Thighs are thick, confirmed.
That looks like, a 000 in the corner. Let me just move us over briefly. That looks incredible. Does that look like a 000 to you?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, it's got that. Yeah, that thing is evil. Don't trust it. You know.
Well, I'm curious if with it being tied to like the twins and one being light, one being dark. I'm curious if there is also a light and dark version of a companion droid for each of them, because we see kind of the two styles of it, and I don't know if it's just that they inverted it for like a stylized choice on the left there or what, but
yeah,
I think I'm here for it.
Damn, Brooke coming with that love. There's free shipping all weekend as well, so there you go. Now is the time. Get your stuff from Far Far Away Factory on Etsy. Let's move on. Oh. Got some quick slides of some concept art for a trooper. What did they name that? Just a T trooper. I'll take it.
I a trippy trooper. I love the colors that they're using, and just the style of it too, where they're kind of taking the outline lines for the drawing and actually like taking those out. It pops so well.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have, as mentioned, a couple of ships here. We have the concept of, I can't get the pause right there. The conjoined Star Destroyers. This is awesome. Although that is a
cool
huge
concept.
target for anyone attacking that two-piece.
It also seems problematic, like some of the guns would accidentally shoot the other one's command center.
That's so true. We'll have to see how the the gun batteries are laid out. Some
It's
X-wings.
probably really fast though, but can't turn.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the cloud cars in Cloud City. It's a similar principle.
Yeah. Get a good look at the brother and the sister. Of course, the sister looking like she's gonna be an Inquisitor. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely seeing it with that like helmet.
What's he carrying?
lunch. That's a lunch.
That's a lunchbox.
Yeah.
It's the lunch break.
It's a bento box. He's got some spring rolls in there.
Now I really need a Star Wars themed bento box.
Got one for Vic for the wedding.
Oh,
Yeah, but we do see that 000 looking droid in the back of that scene.
Yeah, looks like the Inquisitor's
hype
droid.
is that though?
Yeah,
On the nose of an X-wing with the lightsaber out. Like, that's why I'm so hype for Star Wars anime. Is it just takes it to an extreme that is only a good time.
yeah. This is just crazy.
And that's the great thing about anime is like having that no limits type of thing.
Is that a Jedi on an X-wing? I don't know if this person is a Jedi X-Core. All I know is that they were twins. They said specifically they were both twins of the dark side, and then of course the brother is the one that is, I guess, being redeemed, and he is trying to redeem his sister.
Yeah.
Now,
I love Force users just riding on the back of ships. Shout out to Porter.
Now, interesting
Shout
story.
out to Vader.
Yeah, it's interesting story detail. They were twins of the dark side, and you'll notice his lightsaber is white. So therefore, I don't know if he's become a Jedi, but I do believe he purified his red lightsaber crystal.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
I thought the same thing.
Choco, any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the logical conclusion. I can't wait to see him fight because, as the one and only Victoria Vader brought out while we were reviewing this live, it also has some vibes from the Vader 2015 run of the two twins there. Now they weren't actually dark side; they weren't Sith.
Yeah.
Don't believe they were force sensitive at all, but. I mean, all of those creatures or characters had interesting stories. I think there's a lot that we can play around with, especially just the duality of twins. I think we often, at least myself, often am curious about nurture versus nature. But we can get these two dark side people who have been in the same environment, you know? I can't wait to see exactly how this plays out.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Blue Pig Gaming. General Kenobi, or come here, little friend. Brian with the beard, can I not become a child of the 7 on the iPhone mobile app? I can't help you there. It seems like people are finding it just fine. The join button is usually next to the subscribe button, or it could be where you would usually super chat. Oh my gosh, just like epilepsy. Those frames. Like, look at this. Does it not look like she's like General Grievousing, or is that just like thrusters?
Those really seem like crazy attacks or deflecting something, but just very rapidly and wildly.
It's kind of, you know, like when you're watching Dragon Ball Z and there's punching and it's just like head dodges and there's like 1,000 fists everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's part of the
One Punch
anime
Man.
charm.
It's like the Revenge of the Sith novelization, when you read about how you know, Mace Windu and Sidious were like blurs with hundreds of blades swirling. We don't see that in the movie, but
Right? When they explain what Vapad actually means, or you know why it's named that.
yeah. Levi Bond says, definitely most excited for the Ninth Jedi. Absolutely. We'll get there, but that was the Twins by Trigger. They also have another one called The Elder, which you know, this is Tajin or Tajin. Looks like a Qui-Gon, acts like a Qui-Gon, is a Qui-Gon.
Looks like an Eraserhead.
Oh, true. We have Dan Gavashe. Padawan. I mean, this looks like your classic Master and Apprentice. And I spoke too soon. This guy looks like a Qui-Gon. What do y'all think?
I have it in my notes. Anime beards. As somebody who wants to do more cosplay and stuff like that, it's very hard to find cosplays with beards. So that was one thing that I'm just like, yes.
What about that guy with
So
the
many
3 X's, the 3 cross scars?
That too.
You could do it. It also doesn't allow me to become a member. I apologize, Ace Bronx, and anyone who is having trouble joining the squad. You may need to use a browser at some point if you want to.
I looked. I muted myself and pulled it up on my phone as well. It doesn't look like it's there.
Interesting. That's not good, YouTube. That's not good.
Come on, YouTube.
Choco, do you have any thoughts on this Master and Apprentice anime?
Oh, I mean, they even hinted that there's going to be a dual meaning behind it. So I can't wait to see the apprentice come into their own, and who knows, maybe the master is going to need to learn from the apprentice or something like that.
No, that's not Mace Windu either. Just gonna nip that in the bud. Xcore asks, why is it named Vapad?
Yeah, I mean, that was a creature in Legends that you could never tell exactly how many tentacles that it had because it attacked so fast and so furiously. Yes, Fast and Furious reference. Ejectocito, cuz all that. Anyways, you couldn't tell how many limbs it had because it attacked so quickly. And when Mace Windu falls into his fighting style, that's exactly what it's meant to look like. And it doesn't translate on screen because you wouldn't be able to see anything, but as that fight is described in the Matthew Stover novelization, you're watching it and it looks lame that like the first 2 Jedi just died instantly without it. But in the context of what's happening, the attacks were happening so fast that one of them was mid-sentence when he died without being aware that the attack was ever coming. And it's just rough. Both of them were blurs. One of them just a shadow that's a blur, and the other is a big brown and purple blur.
He came in and said, "You are under," and then he was in the world between worlds and said, "Arrest."
That needs to be a TikTok.
It's there for Android users. Xcore Gamer Skill says, "Oh, you know what I think it is. I do believe that it wouldn't be on the YouTube app on iPhones because they have this kind of like what is it
Apple's
policy?
Like, all money runs through us, and then we get a cut.
You can't make any of those transactions through the app. It has to go through like the App Store. I mean, Google does the same thing, but like YouTube's Google, so
it makes it convenient for it.
yeah. Arya says that Padawan reminds me of Kanan, and I'm here for it. Yeah. I just love Padawan stories as well, just because we're always learning. You know, who's this guy? Is that Nkata?
I just remember the note saying that his beard is in three parts.
Oh man. I mean, it could be Kung Fu Tzu, which is a story from Yoda's master. Now, Yoda's master in canon is not named Nkata. That's just Legend's name. But in canon, he does tell a story about Kung Fu Tzu, which, you know, this could very well be him. I don't know. But it's an old guy, you know, and we have katana sabers. This is the closest thing we'll get to a dark saber. That's not a dark saber.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a very tapered edge. It looks like this Jedi still has the classic lightsaber. That's the Elder from Drigger. They have 2 projects. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they have 2, and they're both so different as well.
This is just incredible. I am excited for the twins. That art style really suits me. It's like Sword Art Online. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Levi Bond, thank you for joining the squad. Make your way to the hangar right now and choose your starship. You can name it
you
whatever
had
you
to know
want.
Levi was going to be a pilot.
Of course he was. Of course. You gotta flaunt those levers of power. You know what I'm saying?
Stop giving him hope.
Blue Pig Gaming says, "Oh yeah, I don't get why there's katana lightsabers. I get that it's anime, but there isn't katana lightsabers so far as I'm aware." Well, it's a great point you make at the very end. So far as you're aware,
There is now.
there is now. Of course, some of these. I mean, for now, these aren't canon, so we can enjoy these. You know, for what they are. They're visions. They're visions.
Mm-hmm.
She looks so cool. She does. I don't know if I want her to go back to the light side. She's an Inquisitor with a skirt.
I mean, that the aesthetic works. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yes.
It's got that official aesthetic, but
She's
Star
got-
Wars.
Got that Lana Beniko
Ooh.
swag.
Oh, completely.
And then we got him. I guess this is his look before he defects. There's the joint Star Destroyer. And then we have the Master and Apprentice. It just looks incredible. All of these look absolutely incredible. His beard is split into 3. That's the note.
The note showing up.
And this is Kinema Citrus. Kinema Citrus is doing The Village Bride.
I'm actually hyped for this one.
This is interesting. I know I know a lot of people that were watching live with us were getting hyped about our Jedi romance, getting the romance data pads.
Yep.
We read about them in the High Republic.
Jedi romance novels.
Yeah.
There are other things aside from that I'm also interested with it as well, because they talked about a fallen Jedi in it, but also the potential of talking. One of the things before I get into that is I really wanted one of them to kind of show the way only anime can show how people view the Force. That's something that I've really liked with the High Republic era and they talked about with this one with falling from the light side and stuff like that, and just being a fallen Jedi, what that connection is going to look like more.
Yeah.
And kind of how that's going to be presented and feel and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see that perspective, because I know it's going to be stunning.
I'm getting a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender from this too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was The Village Bride by Kinema Citrus.
And another thing that because they said that it's going to be told through, my impression was that this is going to be told through the eyes of the bride herself, and so
Yeah.
it'll also be interesting watching this fallen Jedi's story just kind of unfold, where they are not the protagonist. I mean, they may be the protagonist, but they are not. This is all framed through someone else's viewpoints, who may or may not be aware of what it means to be a Jedi, may or may not be aware of that they're a Jedi to begin with. Who may be getting conflicts and watching this regular person rise to these extraordinary circumstances, and having to come to terms with this stuff. It's an interesting narrative to play with, and I always like playing around with interesting narratives.
Yeah. Saint Pat, welcome to Squadron 7. You found the join button.
I'm gonna need you to make that a sound, but in in the Welcome to Jurassic Park voice, because I know you can do it.
Welcome to Squadron. No, I can't. Yes, Dr. Grant. Welcome to Squadron 7. Yes, thank you for joining. I like these notes on the video too. Please adjust to make sure the gradation is shown within the frame. Please use colored lines for the earrings. Close up, middle, distant. It's just, the insight into the pipeline in making an anime.
Mm-hmm.
Or as they said, anime. Not to get people confused in the chat, anime is just Japanese phonetics. You're still welcome to say anime colloquially. Just all of this.
Since I don't, because I found it jarring. I'm like, they're right, but what's the line from Falcon and the Winter Soldier? It's like, he's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize this. This is Akakiri, or no, this is Toby-1. This is Toby-1 from Science Saru. That's an Inquisitor. Did not realize that. But now that I'm looking at
Oh, dang, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
This is crazy.
I also love the Astro Boy vibes from that. I never realized how big Astro Boy was until I started working at a store that sold a lot of Japanese toys and statues and stuff like that, and it was huge. And just to see that get to be represented in Star Wars as well is like, yay.
Yeah.
And to have some of the people that worked on Astro Boy be part of the project, that's cool.
Exactly. Like, yeah.
Also, to be named Toby, or to have your phonetic pronunciation of your droid designation be Toby, but also at the same time people would be like, no, you're Toby-1 to me.
Toby-1 Kenobi.
Yeah.
Save me, Toby-1. Help me, Toby-1.
Star Wars Lawyer says, I'll record the Vader line. We are glad that you could join us. For you, Element. I would very much appreciate that. I will make that a sound for every...
Man, I need that too.
Yes, absolutely do that. And I will make that the sound for people joining the Squadron 7. And then this one is... Oh, this is Akakiri, I think. This is just some more screenshots from Akakiri and Toby-1 from Science Saru. And then we are going to go into our last anime that was announced after these stills. I'm just going to let it roll through as we catch up with the chat. Arya says that's the cutest stormtrooper I've ever seen. There's gonna be a lot of cutest you've ever seen in these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that backdrop.
just
so
just
stunning.
incredible. Man, is that Jedi Master Light? Harith says Cal 4 Metal Man music starts playing.
From Mega Man.
That's got to be R2 Doki Doki.
Yeah, the D2 stands for Doki Doki.
Yes, absolutely. Production IG. If you're not familiar with anime, or no, I'm doing it. If you're not familiar with anime, Production IG did Ghost in the Shell, Evangelion, and they even did some work on Kill Bill, like they mentioned in the stream. But their biggest claim to fame is Ghost in the Shell for sure, and it shows in this art. It is absolutely incredible.
Especially, I mean, I love the design of those droids. I almost want a hammer to walk up to it and be like, where does the pilot go? He's like, just drone.
We also have to pay attention to this. This very well could say Jedi Hunter, and this looks a lot like Choco from Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh,
or
totally.
Coco.
Right.
With the hat, the whole get up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Blue Pig Gaming says, I don't get what era it's supposed to be in. We don't have any clue. Like, these are all just
Multiple
projects.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know where either of them or any of them will take place. Some of them have First Order troopers, so some of them could be in the sequel era. Some of them obviously look like they're in the ancient times. The droid gives me the promised Neverland vibes. I agree.
have not watched that show. I'm afraid to watch it. There are a couple anime that I just Promise Neverland and Fruits Basket. I don't know that my heart could take it, so I can't do it.
Car2D2 says Embo. Yeah, that's also true. Oh, who was that?
Mask looked cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's just adorable.
Star Wars Ultron. I love it.
Couple more concept art here.
I also like more poncho representation.
And that's your classic Production IG face style. I love it. The Ninth Jedi. When I saw this, I thought one of the ninth Jedi out of the Lost 20. Do you think this could be a story of that?
I'm gonna need to rewatch this one. I sadly had things to do and I couldn't dive as deep as I would like to, as I will be doing tonight. But
Yeah.
no, I hope so.
So they did say it was from an era where the Jedi were legends, like it was just like a almost like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
So hard to say when that's going to take place, but this was actually one of the ones I'm very, very intrigued by.
I am intrigued by this too. Judo, what's your story? Are you old man Kylo Ren?
Right?
He's got the scar.
She's so cute.
She is. I love this. I love Production IG's art style.
Same.
The Jeb hairstyle
Mhm.
from Napoleon Dynamite.
You just
So true, but it works so well in anime.
you just see this like aesthetic, and
Ugh.
it doesn't look Japanese. It looks Jedi. You know?
Mm-hmm.
This has anime end credits scene vibes.
Oh yeah.
You know, after the show ends and.
I don't know who this is, but he looks like he could fall at any moment to the dark side. I don't trust anybody that looks that serene.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
He gives me Valentine Farfalla vibes from the Darth Bane books.
Oh. Yeah. Levi Bond says this short was original too, hence the 10 that were announced in December, but were merged into one epic. Oh, so the Ninth Jedi was originally 2 projects. Okay, I got you. Look,
I don't recall. Where was that information?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure he'll link it. All this Visions concept art is making me think of checking all these studios' regular works, and I'm loving it. Absolutely.
Do it.
And that's the point. Is you get people who love anime but aren't into Star Wars, wanting to find out more about Star Wars, and vice versa. Some of us are just natural born weebs, but so we're into both. But I mean, the two just go hand in hand so well. I mean, Star Wars is largely based off of the old samurai films from Kurosawa, and some of that influence definitely has bled into anime. So it's like they're common ancestors, truly.
Yeah. And this is just a sizzle for all of the projects that were announced. I'm looking forward to this duel between the Elder and Dan Gravish, I believe his name was. No, we have a Dan. From Street Fighter to Star Wars, Dan makes an appearance.
Gotta have a Dan.
But is it a Lieutenant Dan?
That doesn't bode well for his legs.
Oh, man. Okay. So that'll do it for Visions. We are hyped. So very, very hyped. Back to the main stage with us. Let's catch up with the chat. The dual hype. All this stuff looks great. Can't wait to watch, Bale says. The Blue Pig Gaming, is the stuff shown only concept art? Yes. Now some of the captures we did see during the panel looks like it could be pre-sell, post-sell. So that's most likely they're in production right now, and they do have footage that has been animated, but they're not showing any of it, at least fully animated. But Star Wars Vision is going to start in September, so you better believe one of them is close to finishing. We're about 2 months away from that, so either they're in a lot of trouble or one of them is finished. Let's see here. If you like Star Wars and anime, are you a sweeb?
I'm a sweeb.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's where I live. That's
why
home.
not. Let's see here. Log Branch says there's an article on Star Wars website, Anime Expo Lite, 20 things we learned from Star Wars. Gotcha. We'll have to check that out. Actually, let's check that out right now. We're built like that, you know? StarWars.com news. 20 things we learned. September 22 is the official date. Let me actually get rid of chat for a little bit so we can see it fully for now. Didn't have to fit in the timeline. In developing the series, Lucasfilm made the decision to let creators tell the stories that they wanted to tell. So it doesn't say it's not canon. So I guess there's room. Like if the creators or the vision kind of didn't fit into the timeline, obviously it was not canon. But there's room for, I mean, I'm hoping the twins and the Ninth Jedi is canon. I'm hoping.
And the duel, honestly.
And the duel. And the elder.
Ugh.
Maybe a lot of these.
It's all- throw 'em all.
The studios behind Star Wars Visions make for an all-star anime lineup. Yes, they're all known for amazing anime. It was a long time coming. I assume just been in the process for years. It wasn't a prerequisite, but all of them are all Star Wars fans. Rest assured. COVID-19 restrictions and guidelines were followed. The duel from Kamikaze Doga infused Star Wars with Japanese iconography. Takanobu Mizuno says the thing he was really clear on was that he just wanted this to be a love letter to Star Wars. The core theme of this short ends up being such a Star Wars story.
More hype for the duel.
I don't know if that's the link that Levi wanted to point out. The Ninth Jedi. Is there anything about the Ninth Jedi?
That was only 10, wasn't it supposed to be 20?
Oh, right. Brian with the bread. Thank you so much for joining the squad. Head over to the hangar and choose your starship. Welcome to Squadron 7. We are happy that you would join us.
Get like a really bad recorder.
Yes, I want that video too, to be like a sizzle for people who join. Have you seen that video?
Those are so the super poor performance on the old like plastic recorder for Jurassic Park.
Brandon, have you seen that video?
Yes, I have, and it's incredible. It is.
I highly recommend you guys go to starwars.com/news and read all of this. The Ninth Jedi. Let's see here. Okay, so it was 2 stories, and they combined them. Right on. They had us at Lightsaber Smith.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I like blacksmithing probably more than I should.
You know what?
So
if the Ninth Jedi's gotta be the canon one, it has to be. Because like while all the shorts have original scores, the Ninth has a score recorded by the Musa Kawasaki Symphony Hall. I don't know. It sounds like they're doing some renditions of John Williams. There could be a this is just a want for me. I can't say.
Fingers crossed.
That's what's the thing is don't let what you want affect what is.
Yeah.
All about expectations.
Keep me in check as always. So that's that for the 20 things. Go check that out. I will put the link in the chat so you guys can check that out and wait for it or read through it. Kieran Barr asks, wait, are they not all canon? We just know that they were given creative birth to explore, and they were not required to fit into the timeline. Whether that means they're all non-canon or some are remains to be seen. We just know at this point that these projects were not required, and they were not, I guess, checked by the story group. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Any final thoughts on the Visions? Or do you got something to say?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to find and isolate the clip where he's actually talking about that. And again, he comes out and says, a lot of the strength of Star Wars is how it's been telling this one story, and this is all weaved into kind of a big tapestry, and they originally looked into continuing that for this project, but after examining it, they decided not to go that direction, because they wanted each of these separate creators to be able to fully realize their own unique visions on what Star Wars means to them and be able to explore that through their own art forms.
Gotcha.
So while that's not, and I'm after as soon as we wrap up here, I'm gonna make a TikTok that has that in his entire audio on it so that people can check it out. He does not come out and say this is not canon, but the overwhelming message that at least I received from what he says is that it's not going to be canon.
Yeah,
it seems heavily implied.
I do believe this is one of those reverse cases where it is not canon unless otherwise expressed. Right? Whereas books and comics published by Lucasfilm Publishing or Press are canon unless otherwise expressed.
Which, I mean, if we think about like the 2003 Clone Wars, that's exactly what that was. They let him kind of go off, and the power levels were astronomical, and that's what makes it fit in. But that's what's true to the vision. That's what gives it the Samurai Jack aesthetic. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that we can get more content like that because I love those movies.
I think that this will also hopefully help a lot of people that are still struggling with the what's canon, what's legends. All these old stories that I used to love are now not canon, even though they never were. It'll kind of help people realize that like it doesn't need to be canon to be good. That like you can still enjoy things that are non-canon just because you get to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Great story is a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't expect what you're seeing on this anime to happen on live TV.
It doesn't need to be
that's
tied.
all it means. Like there's this weird thing. I almost made a video on it, but where I feel like a lot of people are taking the word canon and in their mind replacing it with the word important, and that's wrong. You hear people say, well, this is canon to me, or this is not canon to me. That doesn't make sense as a concept. But if they're replacing it with the word important, then you can kind of understand where they're coming from. No, it just means it's not a two-way street where, these are a one-way street. They're inspired from Star Wars, but future projects are not going to be based off of what we see here. That's all it means.
Yeah, and when we say that's not canon, that's not an invalidation in any way, shape, or form. It is just to say it's not canon. It's like it's not in the established timeline. So when we say lightsaber colors don't have meaning because it's not canon, it doesn't mean like lightsaber colors having meaning is like terrible and bad, although we do have individualistic opinions about that subject matter. The only thing we care about is if it ties into the timeline, if it is in continuity.
Ranch is not canon to pizza for sure. I hate ranch dressing. If it touches any of my food,
Gasp.
forever ruined.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Visions, guys?
I think I have a final thought, not necessarily on Visions, but on canon as a concept. And I always looked at it as like a D&D campaign. Just because something doesn't happen in my story doesn't mean that it's not like under the D&D umbrella. Like it can still be Star Wars. Just because it's not tied to like the main canonical timeline doesn't mean that it's not Star Wars. Yeah. You can still enjoy it. But yeah, that's just a thought that popped into my head. But as far as Visions goes, so hype. So hype. I'm ready for it. I wasn't expecting it as soon as it's coming, but I'm very, very excited for it.
Absolutely. Choco?
Yeah, ending thoughts is that this is going to be an incredible thing. I can't wait to cover it. We got so much Star Wars coming up. Our channels are going to be bursting. I really need to get a lot faster at editing video. There's the Sabersmith sounds like it could be one of Will's kids in the future. I would applaud that. And this is the year of Visions, both with Wanda and with Star Wars. So bring it on.
Absolutely. So yeah, we are running out of time for this show, but we do want to kind of touch on Bad Batch, and I suppose, you know, it is serendipitous to kind of realize that, you know, we don't have much time to cover Bad Batch, and there's not much time required to cover Bad Batch this week. Also, Visions was just so dang exciting to just go through all that art and just kind of like dissect it. But yeah, Bad Batch episode 10, Common Ground. I'll just you know jump this off with, like, you know, plot pusher episode, very developmental, nothing interesting or nothing like jumped out at you at this episode. You got more with Omega and the Bad Batch. I don't think they elaborated any further as to what her situation is with Lama Su and Nala Se. But you know what? I'm of the opinion that not every episode can be a banger episode, and so I'm content with that. With that said, Cal and Brandon, off you go with Common Ground.
I guess I'll start with it. I like the short and sweet. I always have kind of the mantra of more Star Wars is good Star Wars, and not every day is going to be a war. Some days it's going to be, you know, a little bit more quiet. But I think what I really liked about this episode is we finally kind of get the ties cut with Sid in a way that allows them to actually move forward and start working on their own objectives, due to getting everything paid off and stuff like that. I also like that while it added to Djarik in a way, still have no clue how it's played.
Yes,
still a confusing thing. I want to know more, but I don't think we'll ever get that answer, and I think that's kind of part of it, and I like it.
Whenever I hear the Kaminoan's name, it makes me want to start singing because it's Lamasu Namase Mamakasa.
Oh my god.
Lamasu Namase Mamakasa. But
Imagine one of them was named Ikdong.
Oh no, that would be dangerous.
Yeah. It was, you know, like you said, it was a good episode. It was a solid episode. It pushed, it moved all of the plot elements that we are aware of forward. It didn't introduce any new ones, but that's actually really important for a show like this, you know. It's the slower episodes that built up the relationship between Wrecker and Omega, which made Wrecker's turn hit so hard. You know, this is an episode that really hammered in that Omega truly has a place on this team. They're not just bringing her into these situations because they feel obligated to. Hunter is like, you and Omega go here. She's not on the mission. Like, oh, I forgot she's not. In his mind, in his heart, she's part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's keeping her away because, you know, maybe it's insecurity because he wasn't able to protect her the way he should have. Same thing's happening with Omega, where she's like, I'm supposed to be with him, and even though she couldn't be with him on this mission, she was still giving her all to the team. And so it's like this beautiful juxtaposition between that. Plus, you know, you have you know, the lines that were drawn in the sand before are changing. You know, you would never help a separatist leader, especially from the stronghold of the separatist, you know, council. They're on Araxis, and of course that's what they have to do. And the person that was the most adamant about not doing it is Echo. But it's Echo at the very end of the episode that tells him, you know, when he sees that the leader doesn't want to leave the planet because he feels like he's abandoning his people, he says, we live to fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that we heard above Umbaru when Hardcase, you know, did his thing and gave up the ghost, so to speak, so that the rest of them could escape, you know, that ship. Yeah, it was solid. It was a solid episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to comment on the fact that I too don't know how to play Djarik. And if you watched my reaction video, I was just like, Okay, so you press a couple buttons and then you mollywop the other person, even if it's a
You just
2v1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it actually gave me hope because it makes it seem like it's like you're playing Marvel vs. Capcom, you know, rather than rather than like something that's similar to chess. It's like a versus game, and you're like, okay, I'm doing complex inputs, and you can take down the rest of the other team.
Harith says the plot of the Separatist Senator was so interesting. Also, Echo needs more focus. It's tough to kind of like, you know, distribute focus across so many different people.
Chat needs more focus,
especially when they introduce more as well, like with adding Omega in there too.
Yeah.
Give me something with tech, you know, anything. I'll take a nugget. You know what I mean? Like yes, I want more development with Echo, but we got to see Echo's origin story already. You know what I mean? He's at a different part in his life now, and so we want a second wave of development. But like, let Tech get some. That's all I'm saying.
Brian says Omega's a card shark. Absolutely. Levi says saying Ram Jamaram makes me want to sing Black Betty. But I do have to correct this. It is not Jamaram, it's Jomaram. Otherwise Daniel would give me an earful. I did ask him one day. I was like, is it Jamaram or Jamaram? And then he was like, it's Jomaram. I was like, oops. Sorry. What are you going to say?
Also, shout out to the Senator's hologram monocle.
Oh my god.
Don't know how that works, but it was cool.
There's some refraction in hologram. I don't know.
Hard light something.
Arya says it's spelled Jamaram though. It's not. Where's my book is in the shelf, Jesus. It's Jomaram. Do you have your book, Choco? Or
it's
you?
It's just out of reach, but I can grab it.
Yeah. Let me see.
Google exists.
It does. I also have the book on digital. Hold on.
Yeah, here we go.
You got it?
Jomaram.
Yep. There it is, Arya.
Which we also had another character named Jom in the book.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh well, not in that book. We had it in.
Well, technically, Ram was in both books.
I see.
Still there.
You're right.
Technicality is the best way to win.
That's what I learned from Futurama. Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
So I guess like next week, what are our predictions for next week's episode before we close out the show? I mean, obviously we're gonna you know, reach a crossroads with Crosshair.
That's on the horizon for sure. I also think with
the crossroads.
with Omega being now like officially a member of the Bad Batch in Hunter's eyes as well, and being allowed to be on missions, hopefully we get to actually see like her in some training armor or something like that, so she's not just running around in civilian clothes, so she's a little bit more protected. Her own little Omega clone trooper armor.
That would be kind of cool.
And as much as I love Sid and that voice acting is on point, I'm happy that we now have the potential of them being out from under her thumb, so that we can kind of break loose and move the story along further. So that makes me excited. As far as predictions, I don't have any predictions for next week. And I think that's what we're all kind of feeling with this episode. It was a solid episode, but it didn't lead to anything. This was an anthology episode that could take place at several points within the timeline and not necessarily lead directly into something else, you know?
Yeah,
I have no predictions.
I said it straight away when I was watching. It's like, this is the first time in a long time I have no idea where this is going. And that's a good thing sometimes. In this case, it is a good thing. Like, the only thing I can say about the next episode is there's a chance that Cad Bane is still in pursuit because Lamasu ain't giving up. Nala say let Fennec Shan go her way because presumably Omega's safe with the Bad Batch. But I don't know. Is that the last we've seen of Fennec Shand? You think she's gonna come back?
I think with the way they had the outro with Fennec Shand, that's kind of like the goodbye till we see you again kind of a thing. I don't remember exactly what was said, but it was very much so like, yo, yeah, I'll be in touch. And it's like, it felt like we're done with this character for the show. I don't know if we're going to be done with Cad Bane. Technically, he could just go down to wherever those credits fell and pick those up and be like, I got paid. But I don't think so. I think there's still going to be more to it with him.
I was thinking that same thing the whole time. Was like, the money is still good. Like, go get it.
Unless it's like a gas planet. It's like, well,
I could definitely see Fennec Shan coming back, but final episode where all of the Bad Batch is unalived, and Fennec Shan becomes the new mentor. Perhaps at the behest of Boba, and maybe that's why they have a tight relationship, because I can't see many reasons for Boba to help out a dying Fennec Shand in the desert besides she took care of my sister. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Omega and Book of Boba Fett?
Maybe.
Played by Tamura Morrison.
Yeah.
Star Wars lore says not enough Ty York in this conversation. I'm sorry, we're trying to avoid some potential spoilers for people. But next week will be our Rising Storm roundtable. We will have Shaylee, Always Fern, and Sawyerism on to discuss the Rising Storm in depth. So you guys have another week to try to finish that book. If you haven't finished it already, press F in the chat if you have, just so I know that you're paying your respects and you're dealing with the pain that has been set forth with this book.
F in the chat for your emotions.
Yeah, F pay respects to your emotions.
Take a nap, you deserve it.
And I wish I could send a GIF in the chat for like need a tissue. Let's see here. I want Omega in Book of Boba Fett. We'll see. Who could play her? I know it's not going to be Tamura Morrison, but
yeah. Nothing comes to mind right away.
What about her voice actor?
No.
I think she would be.
Her voice actor does not look like.
I see. Levi says played by Don Cheadle. No. Let's see here. Is the trivia final after that? Chronologically speaking, it will be after that, but it won't be on that episode. It's going to be a completely, it's going to be a show dedicated to the trivia final. In which case, as we said, each week we're going to drop some knowledge, thought bombs, if you will, for you to pay attention to leading up to the quiz. So this is for the people paying attention. Choco, did you know that Beaumont Kin's home world was lurked?
Oh, so fascinating. It was lurked, you said?
It was lurked. And his historian mentor was Vorin Nall.
Vorin Nall, you say?
Absolutely. Yeah. In any case, if you guys have any final thoughts on the Bad Batch at all, any final words before we wrap this up?
Not besides, I'm excited for Thursday.
To quote a good friend of ours, let's go.
Oh yeah, let's go. Really quickly before we wrap it up, Brian with the bread says, I think Michelle Ung could play Omega in Book of Boba. Just needs bleached hair. I'm down for that.
That's the voice actor.
Xcore says, well, I've got the Dyad here. Is there anything specific you guys want to talk about on Conspiracy Cantina? Anything Force related is usually my cup of tea. I can't speak for Brandon though, but
Yep. I mean, you had reached out and just talked about Force lore or anything in that vein. As long as we'll go deep. Let's go deep.
We can even have a Great Jedi debate. It's always an interesting topic. And
It's true.
we're capable of civil discourse. Cal, thank you so much for joining us to talk about anime and Star Wars in the same sentence, in the same idea and concept. It is no longer foreign.
Love to hear it.
Do you have any parting words for the chat and for the people watching?
I mean, just remember to love each other. More Star Wars is good Star Wars, and just get hype. So much good stuff's on the horizon.
Get
Yum num for life.
hype. Welcome to the hype zone. Yes, we are now commencing to get hype, starting now. And we are out of time, so let me shout out everyone who has joined the squad. Everyone, because everyone joined today. Well, we have two OG triple OGs in Squadron 7. That is Harith Productions and Nerd Connor. Also shouting out today's recruits to the pilot program: DePaul, Cart2D2, Julia Christine, Grandmaster Bale, Levi Bond, Arya, L, X-Core Gamer Skills, Brian with the bread, Brian with the beard bread, Brian with the bread beard, and Saint
Brian the
Pat.
bearded bread bear.
Yes.
I need to see a picture of him now with a bread beard.
Hello to Hustle Mandalorian. Thank you for tuning in. We are just about out of time, but I still appreciate you showing your face. Star Wars Lawyer, I'm joining the squad later. I'm only on my phone, so I will give you a shout out as well. Thank you for joining the squad. And we'll be in chat later on. I'm not sure. I have to film with my brother tonight because tomorrow is the 4th. But we'll be in VC tonight, hang out maybe later on. We'll see. Yes, Fern just joined. Always
Perfect
Fern.
time.
I know the stream is about to end, but hello nevertheless. Hello, Fern. It's always wonderful to hear from you. Johnsky, how do I join? The join button is right next to subscribe. If you are on the iPhone, though, I do not know how. But if you're on Android, it's right next to the subscribe button. But yes. Star Wars Lore says, I'll send that recording later. Absolutely. Yeah, that is the end. On to the next one.
For light and for life.
We are all the Republic.
And may the force be with you.
Bye, everybody.